to episode 20 of the Tatted Tatter Crochet and Tatting podcast. My name is Stephanie and I'm coming to you from Southern California on this very lovely day, which is appreciated because it's been raining a lot for us, which is good because then I can wear my wool. But anyway, yeah, this is episode 20. I'm a week late. I actually recorded last week, but the last 2 weeks have been absolutely insane, and so I didn't get a chance to edit it. And so I figured, I also was having super baby brain that day and forgot to talk about a lot of things and didn't make sense a lot of the time. I watched the video back and I was like, I'm just gonna do this again. So yeah, so we're doing it again, and I'm gonna start with the 500 subscriber giveaway winner, and we'll just go through a regular finished objects, works in progress, some sachet away, and then a little bit of a life update, just to do a life update. I don't know how else to describe that, but let's get started. So the first thing is our 500 subscriber giveaway, and the only rule for this was you had to be a subscriber, of course, and to comment on my last video, and the winner is going to receive this lovely bundle of mini skeins. So this is 14 20-gram minis. They're fingering weight. They are 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and they are all from the lovely Vicky of Vicky Brown Designs, based in the UK, and these are all from her Advent Calendar 2018. So if you have seen a couple episodes back, you saw that I accidentally ended up with 2 Advent Calendars, and so this is for our winner, and our winner, drum roll please, oh no, one of the thingies fell out, that's fine, is Tanya Kopkey. I hope that's how you pronounce your last name. I'll put it up above. So congratulations, Tanya. Please send me your full name and mailing address to thetattedtatterca@gmail.com, and I will send that out to you as soon as I can. You'll have 2 weeks to get back to me, and if I don't hear from you, then I will draw another winner. And 2 weeks will be the March 24th. So yeah, yay, congratulations. I'm so excited. Thank you to everybody who is subscribed and is watching. Welcome to any new people, and of course, welcome back to any of our returning viewers. For all of you who commented on my last video, I really appreciate it. Yeah, so much yarn. It's very exciting. Yeah, okay, so I do have, I would say like 1.5 finished objects. And the first thing is I'm very excited to show you, and I finished this a while ago, but of course I haven't recorded in 3 weeks, and it is my Babysophisticates Sweater. And I'm calling this Alexander's Fancy Sweater because my baby's name is Alexander. And this sweater is super fancy. But I love the way that it turned out. The dark blue tends to blow out the camera for some reason. It was really simple to work up. I made a little bit of error, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And so the pattern is called the Babysophisticates Sweater by Lyndon Heflin. You can find it on Ravelry. And I will put a link to my projects, my Ravelry project page below, because I try to take very detailed notes and keep track of yarn usage and what needles and hooks and things that I've used and all that kind of stuff. So this is a knit pattern, and I'll put up some pictures so that I won't blow out the camera too bad. And I made the 6 to 12 month size. The yarn is Sisa by Marisol, which is a wool alpaca blend, and it's listed as a 5, as a bulky, but it's more of a worsted, I would say. But it is nice and stretchy. And like I said, the pattern is pretty simple. That is a paid pattern on Ravelry. But I like that you might not be able to see it in this, but you will see it in the pictures. The edges, the end of the sleeves and the bottom and the collar are all garter, so it's relatively simple. Yeah, and it worked up great. I was going to the knitting help night at my local yarn shop, Make One Yarn Company in Laverne, California, which is near where I work, and got some help with that for things that I didn't know, like making one left and making one right, how to do the buttonholes, picking up stitches to do the collar. And so that was really helpful. A lot of things I probably could have Googled or YouTubed or whatever, but I'm a visual learner, and like a tactile learner, so it was really nice to have somebody to show me. And then of course you just sit around and chat and hang out with all the, it was all ladies, with all the ladies while we were knitting. And so I've been going back to that. But so this is the sweater. It looks great. I messed up on the buttonholes. I read the pattern incorrectly about where the repeat started, because it just assumed some things. And as a beginner, I missed it. But I was able to go back and fix it for the most part. I dropped a few stitches, but they ended up being behind the buttons, so it didn't matter anyway. But it actually does unbutton. I thought about not doing that because who wants to deal with buttons and babies? But this way, he can wear it longer once he gets bigger. Like if it won't button, but it still fits around the shoulders, then he can still wear it. So, yeah, love it. So that's my first finished object. And then I also, like I said, did a kind of a half finished, and only because I want to make multiples of this. So it's living in my Crochet Luna Poppies bag, because I love poppies. And Claudia's great. And I made a burp cloth. So this, can I pull it up? Oh, I can, without it blowing out. Too bad. Let's cover up the light. There we go. So this is the universal, oh hi Peanut, cotton Supreme DK Sea Spray. Hold on, let me pull it out. It's the same yarn that I used for the crochet sweater that I did. Universal Yarn Inc. Cotton Supreme DK Sea Spray. That's a really intense name for a yarn. But it's just a burp cloth. Nice, simple. I showed you the patterns from Mason Dixon Knitting. It was a $5 pattern. It also came, it was the burp cloths and bib pattern. I don't think we'll make the bib. Knitting again. But I wanted something to do with the rest of this yarn, and I wanted to see how it worked up knit, and it's a nice durable cotton that's also really soft, and so I thought it would work perfect for these burp cloths. So yeah, and I really like the pattern. It is simple, but I love the texture on it. I think I'm going to make it a little bit longer because the pattern calls for worsted and this is DK, so it didn't end up being as long as a burp cloth probably should be, because you know, you need to protect your back. Babies are gross. So, but I have this much left of the blue, and then I have 2 full skeins of the gray. So I can do a striped one, because there's a modification in the pattern for doing a striped one, and then I can do a couple gray ones as well. So yeah, I think it turned out really nice. Nice and simple. Because it's a DK, I think I'm still using the same, am I using the same size needles? This is a 6, and the pattern calls for a 6. So I'm using the same size needle, even though it's a slightly thinner yarn. And it doesn't have any big holes in it or anything, so it seems to be fine. I'm just using some Takumi Clover Bamboo. that I got when I first started knitting. And so it drags a little bit, but one, I cannot find my size 6 tips from my Likey set anywhere, and I'm using the only other size 6s that I have on a 16-inch cord for another project, so it's fine. I just have to push it a little bit harder than I usually would. So yeah, I'm going through the checklist in my mind to make sure I talk about everything. I talked about the pattern and the yarn. Okay, anyway, so that's that. And then I am working on a crochet work in progress. And I was hoping to have it finished by now. Sorry, I got fuzzies in my nose. But I realized that I did not have the right yarn, and so I'll talk about that. Anyway, crinkling it ahead. Stay. So what I'm working on is my first corner-to-corner project. I've never done a corner-to-corner crochet project before. And it is a blanket with a teddy bear. So you're not gonna be able to see the whole thing at once because it's too big. But, hi. I'll show you. This is where I am. So I'm really close to being done. And the pattern is, I think it's just called Bear Baby Blanket C2C, something along those lines. Teddy Bear C2C. And it's from Repeat Crafter Me. It's a free pattern on her blog. And what she provides is a graph, and then someone wrote up the instructions as well. So I've mostly been using the written instructions, and then I've been using the graph to figure out a couple of little details. And I chose this one, so I had been planning, I should say, to make this blanket. I bought the yarn a long time ago, like when I first started crocheting, because I wanted to specifically make this blanket. And now I have the perfect excuse to, because they're actually going to have a baby who's going to be able to use it. So, and also it has a link to a tutorial video from the Crochet Crowd on how to do corner to corner. And so I knew that I could utilize both of those things to make this blanket. And to learn how to do corner to corner, because I've never done it before. And the tutorial video was relatively helpful. It was a little out of order, like they taught you how to change colors and things before they actually taught you how to do the corner to corner, but I was able to figure it out. I would say corner to corner is definitely kind of an intermediate crocheter thing, if only because you have to understand the structure of a stitch in order to really be able to do it effectively. Or at least without too much frustration, I would think. So yeah, so the pattern has been good. The yarn is Bernat Blanket from Yarn Inspirations. It's a size 6, super bulky, and it's 100% polyester, so it's very fuzzy. And the only thing about the pattern is the blog post is a little confusing. And the colors that she uses are not the same as what you would think based on the graph. And so I didn't realize when I started it that, because there's a couple different colors. I have a slightly different color for the outside, but that doesn't really matter. But for the bear, this is taupe, and this is sand. And she also calls for you to get ivory or vintage white, whatever it is. And so what I didn't realize, because also the way that the written pattern is written up, it says light brown and dark brown, is that she used the ivory, the off-white, whatever, instead of the sand. And I didn't even think to do that because I don't know of any bears that look like that. Of course, there aren't any bears that really look like this either, but So anyway, so you're supposed to use the taupe for the eyes and the mouth, but clearly I can't do that because I used it for the contrast color, or the main color, I guess, for the bear. And so I had to wait until I could go to Joann's to get some black, which I just did this afternoon. So I'm hoping to be able to get this finished because I'm clearly really close to being done, and I'm on the down slope because I'm already past the corner. Because the way that, if you don't know about corner to corner, you literally go from corner and then you go like this to the other corner. So this is the very top corner on this end, and I've already started this way, so I'm going this way until I get to the inner quarter. So it's all decreasing from now on, which is a lot easier. So it's been good. I would say, again, intermediate, and you also have to be pretty patient and willing to figure out how many balls you need. And they call them bobbins for a corner to corner. So you basically make separate balls of a single ball of yarn. Because of the way that it's worked, you can't carry the yarn the whole time for all of them. So like because you're going this way or this way, it goes back and forth. So if I use brown, the dark brown here, and then I switch to the light brown, I can't then carry the dark brown here. Because it's too many squares. You could, but it would not be great. And so then you have to have a separate ball of the dark brown for here, and for here, and for here. And I've been, especially for little tiny things like this, I've just been cutting it and weaving them in. But yeah, I think it's going pretty well, and it's going to turn out super cute. So I feel like it's worth it for this one. I don't know how many other corner to corner projects I'll do. I know that it would be perfect for my husband because he runs a band that plays video game music, and they're called the 8-Bit Jazz Heroes, and this is basically what 8-bit looks like. It's the little pixels. So one of these days I will make him a Mario blanket or something, and do another corner to corner. But it's been a fun experiment, and I think it works up really quick because the yarn is so thick. But yeah, so there we go. Corner to corner. Almost done. Gonna try to finish that up today so I can just be done with it. We are gonna go see Captain Marvel this evening, so we'll see if I have enough time. But that's where we are with that one. And I'm using a 10. Whatever that is. It's a 6mm. Using a 6mm hook, which I thought was going to be way too tiny for this yarn, but it's worked out well. Oh, it's a really big bag. So there's that. And then I am working on a knitting project as well. So once I finished the Babysophisticates sweater, I moved on to another sweater, which I showed you the yarn for, I think, in the last episode. It's going to be hard to show you it too much because it's still on the needles. But here is my Elwood sweater. Ta-da! So this is, the pattern is called Elwood, by Jenny something. Jenny Wiebe? Wiebe? W-I-E-B-E. And it does exist on Ravelry. For whatever reason, PayPal wouldn't let me purchase it on Ravelry, but I did find it on loveknitting.com, so I purchased the pattern that way. And I just, the back's a little bit better. I absolutely love this. It's really cute. It's slightly more complicated than the Babysophisticates, so it was a good, like, stepping stone. And it has, you know, knit purl ribbing and the stripes. It's a raglan top down. And so I finished the body of the sweater and am now working on the collar. And the collar is more complicated. So it's a garter on the sides, but then on the neck, it's ribbing, and I cannot figure out for the life of me how to do the wrap and turns in the knitting, in the ribbing. And so I'm gonna go to the knitting help group this Thursday. I started working on it last time, but it was toward the end, so we were kind of rushing. And I realized when I got home that it wasn't working, so I pulled it out and I tried to do it again, and I still can't figure it out. So I'm gonna go ask Amanda at Make One for her assistance. But she'd be really cute. And the yarn is Malabrigo Rios, which is their worsted weight. And the red is called Ravelry Red. And then the gray is Gris, G-R-I-S, which I think is just Spanish for gray. So yeah, so I, you know, split for the sleeves and went all the way down and finished the whole body, and it's so cute. And I love the way these colors are working up. So I'm excited to finish that one. This one is on size 6s. So these are the 6s on a 16-inch needle that I have that I can't take off for now. So it looks so weird on the needles with working on the collar. But there you have it. And this is living in my knitting llama bag that my mother-in-law got me for Christmas. It's so cute. It's from DNA Designs by Angie. She's on Etsy. So since I couldn't work on my corner to corner because I didn't have the black yarn, and I couldn't work on my sweater because I'm stuck, I picked up a really old whip to work on because I am trying to work through my whips. And I didn't want to work on the burp cloths because I didn't really want to knit, because I've been doing a lot of knitting recently. I really wanted to crochet, and I was going to think about starting my Akiko shawl that I showed you, but it's a little bit more complicated, and I also didn't want to start something when I had something really similar that I was already working on. So this is my Rapture Shawl. The bag is from Molly Klein Design, and actually there was a woman at the knitting night who had this exact same bag, and I was like, oh my god, I love Molly. And she's like, I love Molly too. So what are the odds? And it turns out that Molly and I are gonna have our babies in the same month, so it's very exciting. But anyway, working on my Rapture Shawl, which is from Rosina from the Zines and Roger podcast. I'm calling it my Left Behind shawl because it's the Rapture Shawl. If you don't get it, then it's not going to be funny anyway. But anyway, and so this is where I am. So this is kind of a fade shawl, and then it has brioche on the edging. So I'm almost there to get to the edging. It's really long, as you can see. But it's nice and simple. It's kind of mindless crochet, which I really appreciate. And so the yarns, I started working on this middle of last year, and I just put it down and then hadn't picked it back up again. But I'm glad to be working on it, and I'm going to try to finish it soon as well. So the yarns, the first one is a Knit Picks yarn that I dyed using avocados, pits and skins, I think. One of my natural dyeing experiments. So it's kind of a pinky brown, and then it has a small fade. You can see kind of the difference in this row. That's a Peekaboo yarn. She's a local dyer to me, and I used that yarn for my Hotel of Bees shawl. And so that's the peach blossom color. And then that, the first two colors fade into the third color, which is also a Peekaboo yarn, and that the colorway for that is called Zara, and I absolutely love it. Like, I love it so much, I have like 5 balls of this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all of them, but this one is getting used for this. So that's the Zara. And then I got a couple more rows of that. And then it moves into the brioche edging, like I said. And so the colors that I'm going to use for that, this is a Western Sky Knits that I got from the Yarn Over truck. And it's sparkling and beautiful and amazing, and I love it. Let me see what color it is. I have the band in here somewhere. because I bought this a while ago, specifically for the shawl. This one's called Jasmine, and it's on the Twinkle sock base. So it's 75% superwash, 20% nylon, and then 5% stellina. And it's a fingering weight. So this is Western Sky Knits, based out of Montana. And then the black is a Molly Klein design yarn. This is her black balloon. And I used that for my Deadpool shawl, and then the Deadpool hat that I made for my husband when the movie came out, the second one. So these two are going to be the brioche edging. And so I'm super excited to get to this. I've never done brioche, which is crochet brioche, right? I just love calling it brioche because I think it's really cute. Because brioche, it looks like knitting brioche, which is like a 2-color thing. I don't know how to explain it. But it should be really nice. And this is, I think this is a paid pattern from Rosina on Ravelry. I'm pretty sure it's paid. It's pretty helpful that she gives a row counter with the color changes and all that kind of stuff. But here's what the edging looks like. So that's gonna be really pretty. I get the feeling from the photos in here that mine is gonna be really short. Like hers seems a lot wider, but she may have just blocked the heck out of it. So, because I haven't checked gauge or anything. I don't care about gauge for shawls like this, so I don't worry about it. And I also didn't need to worry about running out of yarn because it only uses a little bit of each kind. So anyway, that is my Left Behind shawl, and I'm hoping to finish it soon so that I can move on to a new crochet project. Then maybe I'll start the Akiko because I have everything for that. I have all the yarn I need for that. So there is that. Get back in the bag. So that's all of my works in progress. I did get a couple of things. So of course I got the black brunette blanket to go with my teddy bear blanket. And then I have a plan. I want to make my husband and my baby to be matching hats because I can. And so I'm going to use a pattern from Rebecca Langford of Yarn and Try. If you remember the last time I showed you the midwife blanket that I made from her, I've made a bunch of her patterns and I love them. And she has a hat pattern that's specifically like a guy's slouchy hat. And so I was out with my husband, I don't know, a while ago, not too long ago, less than 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, well, we'll stop at the Joann's that's nearby where we were and get some yarn so he could pick it out. So it's a 3-color hat, and he picked out these 3 colors. So this is Lion Brand Jeans yarn, which is what the pattern calls for. And this is the Stovepipe colorway. And then this one is Vintage. And then this one is Corduroy. So it'll be the 3 of those together, probably in this order. And I think it's gonna be really cute. So that'll be fun. Oh, and then I got the buttons. These are gonna be the buttons for my, for the Elwood sweater. I went ahead and got those at the same time. And then the only other thing that I got, so when I was at the Knitting Help Night, oh, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, it must have been 2 weeks ago, they put out the March schedule for the shop, and Amanda, who teaches the Knitting Help class, who was amazing, by the way. She's incredibly knowledgeable and really good at teaching, and an amazing knitter. She started out as a crocheter also. is she's teaching a class on how to make a shawl at the end of the month, and my birthday is toward the end of the month, so I got it as a birthday present to myself. So I can make myself something, and it was a chance to buy yarn. So the pattern is called Cozy Winter by Melanie. I'm not going to butcher your last name. And so this is the shawl. So it's got that giant cable and then some lace. So I think it'll be a good intro to cables and lace for knitting, because I've never done either of those. And then the yarn that she's using is some more Sisa. So this is what I made the Babysophisticates Sweater out of. And this one, it just says shade 11. The color for this, by the way, is Oasis, the blue. So I'm not sure what color this is, but it's shade 11. And it's kind of like an aquamarine blue with like some mustard hints in there. And I got this one because I really don't have anything like this in this color. I'm not a huge fan of green, but I like this particular green, and I think it will go with a lot of my wardrobe and things. So I got this, so yeah, Sisa by Mirasol, and it's 60% wool, 40% alpaca. And these are 50-gram skeins, so it takes 4 50-gram skeins. They're 137 yards. Like I said, it claims to be a bulky, but it's really more of a worsted. And I don't know what it's called when you can kind of see it. It's blurry, but you can see it. Where it's like pre-braided. I don't know what that's called. But that's what this yarn is. So I bought the yarn and I paid for the class, and got the pattern and everything. And so that's kind of my birthday present to myself. I'm going to take this class, hang out with some lovely ladies, learn some new knitting techniques, and get a gorgeous shawl out of it. Because the Left Behind shawl, the Rapture Shawl, is the first thing that I have made for myself since I started making stuff for the baby. So I figured it was about time to make some things for me also, especially since it's almost my birthday. So yeah, good times. I do have, oh, and this I'm totally entering into the Pisces, I forget what the exact hashtag is, but Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craftcast is doing a Pisces season make-along. And so this is like the perfect color for that. It's like an oceany color. And my Akiko will be too, because it is dark blue with like the rainbow in there. And that, especially because I'm thinking about baby things these days, it makes me think of the Rainbow Fish book. So assuming I can finish both of those before the end. Oh, never mind. I won't finish this in time for that. But it'll be I can do it in solidarity, even though I won't finish it till after, because that's when the class is. But the Akiko will definitely be able to. So once I finish my Left Behind, I'll start working on the Akiko along with all of the baby stuff. I have significantly more baby sweater patterns, and I have lots of yarn to make them in. So next I'm going to try to do a pullover with some yarn that my mother-in-law gave me that I really like, and it's gray with like purple in it. I think it's Hedgehog Fibers yarn, and I have a ton of it, so I'm going to try to make a big sweater. Oh, and for the Elwood, I'm making the 18-month size so that I can have he can grow into it. Because I don't want to only have stuff that he can wear, you know, for the first 6 to 12 months. But I'll have some stuff after that too. And then, of course, as he gets bigger, just keep making things bigger and bigger. And who knows how big this baby's going to be. You never know. My sister and I were both big babies. My niece was a big baby. So who knows? And by big, I mean almost 9 pounds, which is pretty big. I hope he's not 9 pounds. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am with all of my yarny stuff. Life-wise, things are going really good. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it was insanely busy the last 2 weeks. We started a baby birth, they call it childbirth prep class, which has been really helpful because it makes me feel a lot better about the whole thing because it is terrifying. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting all the information that I need to be able to prep myself as much as possible. And the best part about that class is that the teacher gave all of the partners homework, which was to give the pregnant mommies massages all week. So I'm thoroughly enjoying that part of it also. And then, you know, we had to do our taxes, and it was Ash Wednesday, and so it was busy at work, and there's just been a lot of stuff going on. And my husband is taking on some extra work with the music lessons that he does, because one of the guys from the music school is touring right now, so he's really busy, which means I'm picking up some of the stuff at home that just needs to get done, which is also why the house is kind of a mess right now. You know, and trying to get ready for baby, we're putting together some furniture. We put together this really awesome dresser that has like a changing table thing on top. That is Meatball's new favorite sleeping spot, of course. And, you know, collecting things and trying to reorganize and all of that. So it's been pretty busy, but good. All good things. I went to Disneyland all day last Saturday, which my feet and back did not appreciate, but I had a good time. So, yeah. So it's just been busy, but things are good. I'm feeling good health-wise. I have to go do the gestational diabetes glucose test thing, and they're making me do the 3-hour one. So I'm not looking forward to that, because it means I don't eat for like 13 hours, which when you're 27 weeks pregnant is a long time. But alas, it must be done. And yeah, you know, life, things, moving on. It's almost my birthday, which should be fun. We're going to go to dinner. And then our anniversary is also a couple weeks after that, so we'll probably go to Disneyland and do fun stuff like that and enjoy, try to live it up as much as possible before we don't sleep for several weeks. Yeah, that's pretty much where we are. If you've been watching for a while, or you watched my intro video or anything, you'll know that I, for work, I'm currently working at Claremont School of Theology, but I am in the ordination process in the United Methodist Church. And if you've seen in the news, we had a conference a couple weeks ago that did not go well. It was kind of a hot mess. And I'm not going to go into like crazy details. If you want to learn more about what happened, you can go read the articles and things, but that was really hard for me to experience. And we had to change all kinds of things at school, because I help with our weekly chapel services, and we had one planned, and once everything happened with General Conference, we just had to scrap the whole thing and redo it, because our school is very big into diversity. I shouldn't say very big into diversity, that sounds silly. We make a concerted effort to be a diverse place, to be open and accepting to all peoples, no matter who they are or where they're from or what they believe or any of those things. And that includes being very intentional about being inclusive of LGBTQIA plus people. And so that was a hard time for the school as well. And we're still kind of working through all that, because the school is United Methodist in affiliation. So anyway, just kind of dealing with all of that emotionally. I'm going to hang out with a bunch of my young clergy friends this week, because we all have to go kind of check in with our Board of Ordained Ministry, and so we're all going to commiserate and eat and have fun together at the same time and figure out where we go from here. So yeah, life, it's been good. Things are good. I'm feeling good. I did get some comments on the last video with some suggestions about what to do with all of this yarn that I need to gift, because I need to make a room for the tiny human that is growing inside my body. And y'all thought mystery boxes was a great idea, so I think we'll do that. I'll go get some boxes and I'll try to put yarn together that makes sense, not just a random assortment of yarn, but like I have a lot of Karen cotton cakes and a lot of Lily's sugar and cream cotton, and, you know, some Simply Soft, Vanna's Choice, other kinds of cottons, all those kinds of things. So I'll try to put them together that makes sense, and then we'll figure out how exactly we want to distribute. So let me know if you have any thoughts on that. I may just say I have this many boxes, and so we'll have this many winners, and I think what we'll do is a Ravelry thread, because it's just easier to have those numbered and everything. And so I'll have like a question or something that you can answer, and then we'll pick from the people in that group. So yeah, there we are. I am gonna try to record in 2 weeks. That's my birthday weekend, the 24th, because my birthday's on the 22nd. But other than, I think my husband's actually working a lot that weekend, so other than going out to dinner on my actual birthday, it'll probably be pretty chill, which is great. I love chill weekends. This weekend was really chill and I needed that. So we'll see. But Tanya, please, again, get back to me. And if you all are looking for me online, you can find me on Ravelry as Tatted Tatter and on Instagram as The Tatted Tatter. Just search Tatted Tatter, you'll find me. And then again, my email is thetattedtatterca@gmail.com. If you need to send me a podcast related question or comment or whatever, and I will see you soon. I took a lot of pictures of the animals being adorable, so insert a montage of my adorable pets here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.